Next up, Matt and I discuss the biggest roles famous actors turned down.
I would have ruined it. So I did y'all a favor.
Welcome back to 4K Kings. My name is Matt.
And I am Russ.
Today we're going to run down some of the most interesting, strange, bizarre casting choices that could have been and could have impacted or changed some of the best films and roles we know today.
Some of them are just outright funny.
Some of them I can't even believe were even considered and probably would have just straight up ruined the movie itself.
I can't believe Daniel Day-Lewis was up for Ace Ventura.
Poor little rabbit.
See if you agree, see if you disagree on our opinions on whether or not they should have actually happened.
Yeah, baby.
And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. The day Matt and I hit 20K subs, Mark Wahlberg's going to apologize for being a racist.
What? No.
All right, Russ, let's dive into this list. 1997, Boogie Nights. Mark Wahlberg, as you know, stars as the iconic Dirk Diggler, but before him, Leonardo DiCaprio was offered the role and turned it down to star in Titanic. Allegedly, after starring with Mark Wahlberg in Basketball Diaries, it was Leo that suggested him for the part in Boogie Nights.
I thought he was already committed to Titanic. I didn't know he turned it down to do Titanic.
That's what it seems, and I feel like he did us all a favor. While I love Leonardo DiCaprio, he would not have fit in Boogie Nights at all.
Because he can present himself as an intelligent man. I think this is part of the reason why Mark Wahlberg doesn't like Boogie Nights. I think all the religious stuff that he says, that he wants God to forgive him because of the porn angle.
Are there any movies you've ever prayed for forgiveness for?
Boogie Nights is up there on the top of the list, absolutely.
I think that's bullshit because Mark Wahlberg's done some crazy shit in his life that he hasn't apologized for. Why is Boogie Nights at the top of your list? I think when he was making the film, he was seriously acting as if he was acting like Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. But when he saw the finished product, he realized that the Dirk Diggler character was actually kind of stupid, and I think Mark Wahlberg felt duped.
I can see that.
Then it came out, he got a lot of praise, and he had to sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And I think over years, he's just got bitter about it.
I agree. I think the Dirk Diggler character and Mark Wahlberg's character in general is very naive and dumb and silly, and it works. Not to say Leo couldn't play that, just something about Mark Wahlberg's persona and how he looks and how he presents himself, it just fits it so much better.
Leo would have to act it. You could just put a camera on Mark Wahlberg and he will convey that naturally. I'm not even trying to diss Mark Wahlberg. We love I Heart Huckabees. That same thing works great in that movie as well.
Yes.
But I think secretly Mark Wahlberg resents that.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
1977 Star Wars, one of the biggest films of all time, one of the biggest film franchises of all time, could have had a much different Han Solo. Harrison Ford, who I think is perfect in that role and continue to be perfect in it throughout that trilogy, as well as coming back in The Force Awakens, could have been Burt Reynolds.
What?
Improvement. Any movie where you cast Burt Reynolds is an improvement over said actor that they originally wanted.
That mustache would have overshadowed the whole movie. He was wanted before Harrison Ford was. It wasn't like they were both up for it. It was like, we want Burt. He didn't want it because he said he didn't want that kind of role, which I'm assuming means he's not really interested in science fiction. I don't know a single science fiction Burt Reynolds movie. Am I wrong? Am I missing one?
Han Solo, I felt that was a show that had special effects, and they were great.
Just not your bag at that point.
Not my bag at all.
But he did say later that he regretted the decision. He said later on that the character itself was a great role that he wishes he perhaps should have taken on.
I have two thoughts about all this. One, we could do an entire segment on people who were up for Han Solo. As stupid as it sounds, I can picture this.
What?
I don't know.
Shave the mustache, shave the Norm Macdonald impression from your memory on SNL. Dude, Han Solo is what Burt Reynolds was at that time. Smokey and the Bandit and all that stuff, he was a scamp. That's what Han Solo is. I understand the reasoning behind this.
Yeah.
Star Wars is bigger than anything. So any change would seem foreign, right? But Burt Reynolds, I can see the rationale.
I feel like Burt Reynolds would have probably come in there and thought, this movie is about me. Like Han Solo's the main character and I'm it, where it's not. Yeah. It's about this world, it's about Luke, it's about all these other things that are going on. Han Solo, Harrison Ford, he's like part of a cast, basically, whereas I think Burt Reynolds would have been like, this is my movie.
I'm approaching it as if he would have approached it like Harrison Ford.
He would not have at all.
Right. And Harrison Ford was not a star yet at this point.
Wasn't.
All he really had under his belt would have been American Graffiti with Lucas. Out! You're right.
So we agree.
Ruined.
Two thumbs down.
Ruined. You're right.
Ruined.
I don't care.
1995's Se7en. Two actors up for the role of Mills, Sylvester Stallone and Denzel Washington.
The movie Se7en, the part that Brad Pitt played, they asked me first.
Stallone turned it down for unspecified reasons, but he was definitely in the running for it. What would have Stallone tried to manipulate David Fincher to do?
Fincher had just come off a terrible experience with Alien 3.
It's amazing to me that Fox is the #1 studio in the country because they're all such a bunch of morons.
If he would have been put in another scenario, working with a cast or crew who was constantly challenging him and overriding him, which Stallone would definitely have done, Fincher would have probably retired, and we would have never gotten anything afterwards.
That character needed to be able to be broken at the end of it. And I don't know that I can see Sylvester Stallone being broken, whereas you have Denzel Washington, who felt the script was a little too dark, and he just declined outright for that.
And I saw the movie and tried.
I couldn't see, honestly, Denzel and Morgan Freeman being the two detectives. I just don't know that they would have had the same chemistry.
Neither of these comes down to chemistry. They're both bad for it. The Mills character has to be naive, has to be strong, likable enough, but not too likable for when the ending happens, you're not completely mortified. What the Mills character is a fresh fish. And Denzel is such a great actor, he feels seasoned in everything. I don't think audiences would have bought it. He's too intense. I think Brad Pitt's inexperience, especially at that time, lends itself more to the Mills character.
Did have a shade.
Another very interesting casting choice, which I never knew about and would have altered the film, probably in my opinion for the worse, but I have a feeling you might think for the better. 1988's Big. Before Tom Hanks was cast, Robert De Niro was basically cast in the movie. He even auditioned with Elizabeth Perkins. She stated that his take on the Josh Baskin character was more moody, was a little bit more dark, and the tone, in her opinion, probably would have completely shifted for what it is today, as we all can imagine.
Good.
De Niro himself cited scheduling difficulties that required him to drop out, and then they brought Hanks in, which from a Penny Marshall film, he's got that goofy nature that I feel like lends itself perfectly to that movie. De Niro, no idea what that movie would have been, and I wouldn't want to have seen it.
Part of the reason I'm not a fan of that movie is because I do think there is a ton of misplaced sentimentality throughout it.
What exactly don't you get?
That movie can't decide whether it wants to be cute, whether it really wants to say something. Even as a child, it gave me an uncomfortable feeling. That ending where they're looking at each other after he turns back into a kid, that creeped me the fuck out. You want to know how creepy this movie is? We'll make it easy. Reverse the genders. 13-year-old girl becomes a woman, starts hooking up with another adult man in the corporate world. This movie is disgusting if you reverse those genders, Matt.
What, do you want to go to jail?
And I think De Niro would have brought some kind of levity to this. I think it would have been a more interesting film. I agree most audiences wouldn't have liked it, but I would have.
It sounds like you have more of an issue with Big than you do with the casting.
Yeah, let me clarify that. I don't think Tom Hanks is bad in the movie. He didn't do a bad job or anything at all.
So the moral of the story is Robert De Niro, not a good pick. Penny Marshall is a treasure.
All he said was he didn't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Another interesting casting choice that almost was 1999's The Matrix.
I've heard of The Matrix.
Have you? Could have gone a completely different direction other than Keanu Reeves. The first choice to play Neo was Will Smith.
I probably would have messed the Matrix up.
I love The Matrix. I can't say that about the entire franchise, but the original Matrix, I think, is a great piece of science fiction. I think it's an excellent film. I think Keanu Reeves is perfect for that role for a lot of the reasons we said about Mark Wahlberg. But to see Big Willie style in there.
And even though I'm an action star, sometimes I'm an act bizarre.
I can't believe they considered him for 2 seconds. And I will say unabashedly that I do not like Will Smith at all as an actor, but to have him in that movie just would not have worked whatsoever. And I'm happy that Will Smith didn't understand the vision of the film. That's his words. He didn't understand what it was going to be. And he decided to do Wild Wild West instead, because I guess he understood that a little bit more.
No, Matt, I couldn't agree more. Will Smith would have been woefully miscast in The Matrix. That's been the secret sauce to Keanu Reeves' career. Different from Wahlberg, he has a blank expression that doesn't convey asshole. It works well in Point Break. It works well in John Wick. So it does work when you are the one in a matrix of code and you're that kind of blank yourself. It fits the idea of the story, and Reeves can do that in his sleep.
And I think Will Smith probably would have overacted, made the movie about him, not about the story. story, which this is what you're there to see.
Yes, and make no mistake about it. When Will Smith didn't see the vision, he didn't see the dollar signs.
No money, no honey.
Because he was clearly going for sci-fi blockbuster entertainment, and he didn't see the vision of how that would become a blockbuster. Hey, oddly enough, he saw it in Wild Wild West, though.
Gotta stick to what we each do best.
Thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you next time for part 2.
This is the bounce back. Watch Will, y'all. This is the bounce back.